Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have for you guys today a tournament match. This was played recently. It's one of many, soon to be on the channel, from my 2v2, effectively adopted noob-esque Knights and Squires tournament. So the way we're going to do this was a series of 3, not a best of 3, and we're going to watch the first game from Blue's perspective here, from Haymaker and Keyhow. Then we're going to go the second game to the team Toby Namber and Osama bin Liftin, and then in the third game we're going to go back to Haymaker and Keyhow. So that's how we're going to do it for all of these sets we're going to show you guys. I'm going to go with one team, next team, back to the first team, and then if we have other ones I might favor more, if we only see one of OBL's games here from his perspective, then we'll go to him twice for the next series of 3 that he's involved in. So that's sort of how I want to do things here. Let me know if that sounds agreeable, and I don't know what happens in this set, so we're going to have a lot here to see. It looks like we've got Israel, so I saw the first little bit of this game live when I was around just to help with rules questions, things like that, but I was also taking care of some paperwork, so don't really know how it goes. Looks like some very aggressive capping from both teams, more so, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CVs for red at the beginning as opposed to 4 from blue. Now that's 2 per on blue. That's usually pretty heavy, especially in 1v1 sort of meta. You don't see more than that generally. I'd expect red to be more defensive if they're going to go for 5 cap. I mean, some teams on blue side do push Bravo in the early game. I've seen it done. It can be hard to defend against if the blue team gets into the towns on the top side of Bravo. They cut off your ability to really reinforce in there and deny that zone. So curious to see that. It looks like blue, it looks like Haymaker's team, Haymaker and Keyhow, had intended to defend, which could put them at a disadvantage. If red's ticking +1 already, this match can often be decided by a +1 tick from what I've seen, especially, this is 2v2 Patty, it's a very common 3v3 map, because nobody ever plays the size that it should, above 1v1, and I don't know, it looks almost like, okay, OBL is going to attack. Makes sense. Very aggressive player. Very good player. But very aggressive player oftentimes I've found. And a lot of chaff. Tank behind. Makes sense. I like the fact that Haymaker's rotating here. The Nimrod also could be very impactful. Need to be careful with those missiles though. Looks like 2 of them already done. And no high value targets, right? So this is something, if you use the Nimrod, I mean, this is a bit of a waste, and there's an IP Abrams that would love to get hit by that, or rather, well, yeah. Ugh. Rough. Rough. Getting good value on stuff like the Nimrod can make or break a game, too. It's expensive enough at 80 points that it needs to get good kills. Red 4 Rafal, just OBL here. It could be that Osama bin Liftin told his teammate, hey, do triple cap, and that they could do a solo push. But I don't quite get the logic here. So Lima is hard to defend, true, but that's true from both directions, right? So from blue side, it's much harder to defend Lima than it is to defend Echo because of the towns in Echo. On the other hand, even though Mike isn't the easiest to hold, you do get the buildings here, and that can be quite nice. You also get the ability to attack out of this side if your team holds it. So I don't quite get the purpose of, if you're going for +1 tick, also trying to take a zone that's hard to keep. Commandos para, Fallschirmjäger, yep, makes sense. Commandos para here. Counter spotted, need to be careful. And this is really interesting too, like Moglon, Rovite, there's a Hafiz. Would be nice to see that under cover. And there is some defense. We have Rangers, what do we have here? That is going to be, oh man. Yeah, M2A2 probably means there's a Stinger team nearby. Most USA players will take this on Stingers in the infantry tab. Makes sense. Try and make sure no helicopter can get around. PTR 40 needs to be in the woods. This is a big mistake. It's right next to the woods, it's not in the woods, therefore it's not concealed. And if red does put good pressure in Lima, that could be an issue. Okay. Cap from Keyhow. Second cap. Okay, so blue's looking to take advantage of the board position, which I agree with. I think if you have enough of... oh, that's rough. The Hafiz does suffer a little bit on accuracy compared to the Para, is one of the other downsides as opposed to the ammunition count, which is a big one, but not a huge one. Cobra? Oh no. No, 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 no. Okay, this Machbet, this is really interesting. This Machbet doesn't want to go this way, it wants to move laterally. And this is something that could really, really cost. Yeah, sad Moglon. Okay, there might still be enough time. Lateral movement might have saved the Moglon, but not a guarantee. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. The low hover from the Cobra. It wasn't even micro, that's just because it was there. And that gets away. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so that's nice defense, because now we know that this Hafiz is spotted. Okay. Man, alright. Nice rotations. Big thing's gonna be fuel. Recover 3Ds down to 520-ish. Be nice to see resupply coming out for that. If not, that's gonna be a risk if there's no resupply coming out soon. Nimrod is back. I don't know. This sort of gameplay, like, there was a nice defense here, sure. But most of the stuff that died is gonna be relatively cheap boxes and some cheap... Okay, that's an M1 IP. Yeah. Alright, so blue's ahead on trading, it would seem, even with the losses in hotel. Should be ahead. Okay. You know, if I were blue, honestly, with the Baz here, and with the 2A and the Machbet, all this sort of stuff, I think this is a good idea. I think I would almost say I'd like to see Ki Hao switch over. And they could really lock down... Oh, come on, come on, come on. Beautiful. Beautiful, nice kill. Nice, nice, nice. I didn't check the veterancy on the, well, I guess technically red 4, technically blue. Oh, shoot, what? Wait. What killed the 3D? We're gonna have to check that. I didn't see that at all. I was watching the plane engagement, and wow, okay. I mean, that would have to be the Rangers, wouldn't it? That's it right there. I didn't see anything. I'm willing to bet you that Haymaker didn't see anything during the game either. Holy shit. Sorry. Holy cow. Oh, man. Sorry about that. Okay. So... I was about to say I'd like to see Hotel capped first, but without the Baz here, no. Hard no. But Lima is really hard to cap as well. Like, You know, people talk about map favorability and things like that. I think that Blue 4 is favored on this map, but only at the start. Which is interesting. It's good map design in my opinion, because if Blue 4 can push right through into Echo, because Echo's easy to defend, it's easy to defend from either direction. So if Blue 4 can get in here, they basically can win the game off the bat. But without that, Lima is hard to hold, it's hard to cap. That can get sniped. Peace Ryan. No, 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 no. Can't lose stuff like this. Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's very rough. So we're down a Baz, we're down a Moglon, we're down a Spike team, we're down a Hafiz. Peace Run gets out. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if it was a Peace Run that got the first 3D Baz. M1A2 is too far away. No, these... like, the one Merkava needs to be up there. But this is the issue with the 2As, right? 9 rounds is not a lot. Very much not a lot. Artillery coming in. Okay, this is very good. It's very, very good. So, with the sort of setbacks on the other side of the map, I think Ki Hao does need to apply pressure. And you gotta do that more than just having a defense here. You need to actively assert that pressure and keep Toby and OBL from working together. So, one thing, if you're gonna be doing this, the Milan F3s, there's a lot of hedges here that can give you some decent line of sight a little farther forward. It's a nice defensive tool as well if red starts pushing this way, but really they're not here so much as if you can get a Milan F3 up to about here. There it is, there's the blue. And I think that actually, yeah, this is not really a hedge. There's no blue there, there's no hidden. But there is some right there, and there should be right here as well. And then if you attack in this way, this is a very thin section of forest, which can be pretty nice to do some good work on. Zeldas. Yeah, I mean, if you can get away with it. Rifleman kills are rifleman kills. That's the... Is that... Wait. What's the vat? Holy... Oh no! Was it the M2A2 that killed the Baz? I wonder... ATGM side shot, maybe. That could explain the elite veterancy. That thing was not elite earlier, I don't think, anyway. Double M1A2. This is very, very dangerous for blue. You need good kills off the Nimrod, but, I mean, Hawk Pip, it's 33-25 meter range against helicopters. That's very deadly as well. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Alright, good. Also, from this position, it can be really pretty good to see if you can get the falls up into here, and then do a backline sweep, because you can kill things like anti-air that people keep in this section of woods. Very, very nice to stretch the field that way. And then what are they going to do? Call in a helicopter? If you have a Crotal, like, you push the falls up to there, you get the Crotal up to about here, and then the Crotal will shoot down any helicopter that comes over this way. And that can allow you to leverage Bravo, because you attack right in to the town, and you almost sort of skip this beginning section, or you can hammer it from the side, which is good as well. I think seeing the double M1A2 Abrams, and knowing that we're down a 3D Baz, at this point if I were blue I would have tried to rotate over into Bravo, because it seems like Osama bin Liftin's been relatively active, and he's very good with those super heavies. He's like very, very good. Recently gave me the proverbial business with super heavies as well. Plays a lot of US. So USA, you also have to worry about the attackums, which is going to strike stationary targets. And this sort of hotel zone is tough for that because there's so little ground to hide. Right? Even if you cap it, there's like one common cap space on this side. Yep, right there. Because it's dense hedge. And then you have this section. It's like all of that can get hit. Oh no. Is that... Jeez. Nope, it's the high noise ATGM. Come on. Doink. No, okay, getting away on one. I'm not trying to root for either side here. I think I'm going to end up rooting for Nice Kill. For whoever I'm watching. Alright, in terms of like, oh, this is good, oh, this is bad. Because, you know, anything bad for one team is, by definition, good for the other. Oh, nice kill. Good work on the Hafiz, honestly. This is not the easiest thing to use, but 27 AP, it slaps. It really does. Okay. Would have liked to see... So, some anti-air is amphibious. That would surprise you. The Machbet is not. But the... Oh, okay, Shanav is also not. What am I thinking of? There's some that is... Yeah, Lad Stinger A. Okay, so with one Baz dead, but one M1A2 dead, that kind of evens out. That Thunderbolt, oh no. No, smoke this, smoke this, smoke this. Nice dive. Needs to have seed behind, no seed behind. Okay, not a nice dive. And I think the Rafal there was actually part of the reason why that didn't work out, because, I mean, the A10's getting away on 3 health. It is an armored plane, but another hit from the Rafal would at least kill it, take it off the field for the next 26 minutes. And the point of ASFs is one of two things. You either want to establish air dominance to clear the way for your own bombers, or you want to, well, and strike planes, or you want to destroy your opponent's air dominance. Well, I guess that's sort of the same thing. Or you want to just destroy your opponent's strike planes. If my opponent has lots and lots and lots of ASFs, but nothing they can do with it to affect the ground, I don't care. I'm just going to run a good ground game, and then they can have all the Rafals they want. But if they do have their strike planes, then that becomes a bit of a problem. So I think losing the Baz and not getting the kill is something that could come back to really haunt these guys, especially when, like, right now there's a 2A here, but there's nothing to stop the M1A2. And I think maybe too many have Fizz. It's nice, but this is the third Hafiz buy we've seen. The first one died to a ATGM plane, the second one died just then. There needs to be armor enough to deal with this. Like, the caliber of player that gets to Major General is not going to be reliably weak to things like ATGMs on the ground or in the air, right there. So we see nice smoke play keeping the M1A2 alive, and that allows a shot. So, okay. Not in time, but still. Like, and by the way, this is beautiful, beautiful smoke. So it's a line. The M1A2 can move up, can move in to hit, has things to retreat into beyond just that single puff. And this also denies things like cluster planes that can come in, and if you only have one puff of smoke, well, it's going to get clustered oftentimes, very often. It will get just hit, and there's not much you can really do about that. So I think the line of smoke is something that is very good, and you'll see a lot of better players doing that sort of thing, because it gives them a bit of play in where their tank can really operate safely. It's right now farther back, but the second these riflemen push up and forward, I guarantee you that tank's going to be peeking through up here. And if that M1A2 comes up this way, it's a dead Merkava 2A, not much to keep the Bakut alive either. And with 104 points to 40, they need that. Yep, there it is. Thunderbolt comes back out, the Rafale alone, not enough to get the kill. That's rough. That's really, really rough. And this is some of what happens when your air game is coordinated between two players as well. Like, ECR, great plane, really amazing range, wasn't there in time. And, you know, if I send out my Rafale and I send out my ECR after it, it's going to be a little bit tighter coordinated, and I might get the AA kill off the ECR before my Rafale dies. It's not a guarantee by any stretch, especially with Stinger teams on the ground. I imagine there's at least one back here as well. Short range, high impact, high accuracy when the Rafale flies right over. Which I say when because it's trying to get that A10 that's in the back. It almost feels like the Red 4 team has been pretty successful at baiting out a couple of overzealous anti-air dives. Now the Baz is dead. Well, not the Baz. Oh, wait. There's a plane called Baz, right? Jeez, I don't play enough Israel. Okay, that's getting hammered. Yep, weapons jammed. Man. Peace Rhine. Okay. Nope, not okay. Oh, goodness gracious sakes alive. This really is rough. And, you know, Kihao might save it here. So we have... No, please attack move this. You have to micro your Legion 90. It's a must. There's no other way around it. But with Leclerc here, like, this is the other thing. So Toby Namber has switched over. We see 1390s here. There's, I think, some heavier tanks and shaft from him there as well. So it is a very nice thing for the Blue 4 team, for Kihao, to recognize a potential opportunity here. But it needs fire support in there. Jaeger? Wow, Jaeger. You never see Jaeger these days. 15 points, I mean, it's an MG3, which is nice. The Panzerfaust 44 is subpar for 15 points, but compared to things like Panzerskita 90, 19 AP, 20 RPM launcher. But at least the tertiary is decent, and there's a cap. This could be good. I almost feel like it'd be better to go in... Like, there are two ways you can get advantage from a zone. You can either cap it, or destroy your opponent's cap. And I think this is a zone where you can definitely preference destroying your opponent's cap, because you can virtually guarantee it's not going to be up here. You can virtually guarantee it's going to be either in this section or in this section. Most commonly, you know, 8 times out of 10, it's going to be in this section. So you can definitely strike at that, and with 170 extra points, right, that's a couple of Legion 90 in Vabs, so you get that sort of support as well. Oh man, another dead Hafiz, cluster now. Is that cluster from red or blue? SLR 160, okay, that's from blue. It's a good call. Definitely a good call. Very, very nice. Artillery. Please heal this. Please, please, please. There's the Oshkosh. Bring out another. Get it back in the action. Yeah, so this is a case where I think... Let's take a peek here, because I'm willing to bet... Okay, Panzerkampfwagen and Leopard 2. A little bit unorthodox. I had not called that. I would not have expected that. But it brings a little bit more weight to what I was saying earlier with getting this Fallschirmjäger 90. They've just been sitting here for 20 minutes. Get them up and forward and clear this section, right? These guys, Fallschirmjäger 90, walk up this way. That's a dead CV tank. Which, I mean, hey, that could make a good difference. Taking it +2 instead of +1. Oh, they're not going to be able to hold it. Kratal. Come on, Kratal's right here. Not going to be there in time. It's an A10. Ah. That feels really, really bad, man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and here we see, like, exactly what I said about attacking this earlier, about this being a really thin section of woods. That is a really important thing. You can get attacked from both sides, and they're relatively easily. Much easier than many people expect, I think. So now we have, let's see, Peace Run. It's probably targeting the Shanov, I would imagine. Yeah, it would have to be. It's the best target on the board. No, Mockbot. Okay. Could be a mistake. No, miss. Last missile. Won't have time, I think. Oh! That plane was almost out. That was like 1 or 2 seconds from out. Rafale's definitely better than the Barak 2. 10 out of 10 times, yeah. Oh, nice hit. Except the Rafale has 4 long range, Barak 2 has 2 long range. Dead. Nothing to stop the Tiger. Dang. Really nice coordination from the Red 4 team, I gotta say. Like, they're working together as a team, especially in the mid to late game with the Tiger had there. Don't. Rocket pods, man. Okay, never mind. I take it back. Nope, okay, that wasn't the tank. Oh, rough. Okay, alright. Second Barak 2 does get the kill. The issue is that kill on its own, especially with the trade there, is not going to be an answer to Hotel. It kind of feels like Toby Namber and Osama bin Liftin have been targeting Haymaker a little bit, which is definitely a strategy. Like, the whole point of this tournament is you have one more experienced, one less experienced player on a team, and if you take away the tools from the more experienced player, that can definitely be a way to dismantle the whole team. It's like, from then on, you're averaging playing against the person who's a little bit newer, and that's not to say, like, I've intentionally, studiously avoided saying bad player, because they're not. I don't believe any of the Squires in here in the tournament are bad players. It's just they will exploit generally fewer opportunities than the more experienced players will, in part because they're not sure if it'll work or not, and that sort of nervousness, overcoming that is a big part of improving in this game, is knowing what works, knowing what doesn't work, being able to sense and take advantage of those weaknesses, and then doing things like that Bravo attack just that little bit better, where it ends up getting a decap and a +2 instead of just a +1, or a +1 for far longer. That comes with time, that comes with experience and game sense, and all those different things. That is why we're doing the tournament format like this. So Haymaker and Kihao have been doing a lot of practice games, and I've definitely seen an impact on Kihao's play. And Osama bin Liftin and Toby Namber have been doing the same sort of thing, although I think Toby does have more total games than Kihao. I think he also did take a bit of a break from playing, and by break I mean like didn't touch the game for over half a year, maybe more like 3/4, and that sort of rust definitely can take some edge off your gameplay here. That can often take quite a while to get back into. Like, a couple weeks, no big deal. A couple months, more of a deal. Half a year, okay. That's gonna be some fundamental, oh right, this is how this works sorts of moments. Oh man, US Marines, LVT P7s, no 71s that I see. Some 71s would be nice. I almost feel like I would definitely take that in team games for the grenade launcher. You have more stuff, right? Okay. If this succeeds, if Red 4 succeeds in this push here, which I think they will, then I don't really see a way back in for Haymaker and Kihao, who, by the way, have kept this. I mean, to 82 points to 104, that's not over by any stretch with 15 minutes left. There's a lot that could happen here. Nice. LAR 160, and double miss. That Peace Run needed to hit. That very much needed to hit, because, oh geez, stop zooming in on the plane. Because there are still ways to get rid of the US Marines 90s, so it'll be tough. Actually, no. Not with what's left here. Oh, brutal. Brutal. Oh, March 90? Yes. No. LRM. Okay. I see. Nice kill. Feels like OBL's attention's definitely not on Hotel. Especially if that other spike lands. That's just a transport. Fair enough. So the issue here is, what do you do with the IP Abrams at short range? What do you do with those US Marines? You've got to figure out a way to get those gone. And with a Thunderbolt, this 3D Baz is vulnerable. There needs to be smoke on this 24/7. Actually, there needs to be exactly what Osama bin Liftin was doing earlier. Fall. That's a dive. That should be a one-way trip, I would imagine. Way too deep in Echo. No, not punished. Oh, ECR for the win. Very nice. I mean, hey, it has Sidewinders for a reason. Okay. At this point, honestly, yeah, throw the 2A1 forward. Throw the Baz forward. This thing has 22 front armor. It can survive a shot from that. Oh, no. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, that's spotted. So there needs to be smoke up here, and that's out. No mortar from Haymaker is a little unusual. I wouldn't have expected that. Yeah. Ticking +2. Hotel cap, Lima decap. Man. But hey, I mean, there's still time left in the game. There's still 10 minutes left of the action here in this tournament game, and you know, I'd be surprised if they maintain the +2 tick for all of it. Oh jeez, never mind. No. Oh man. Oh jeez. That was actually really pretty lucky. You wouldn't expect them to miss both each time. Stabilization. Nice kill. Okay. Just out of range of the Legion 90, and we have another attack coming in here. Oxidate Preclude from Haymaker, backing up a Leclerc. Well, backed up by a Leclerc. Kurnos coming in. I would like to see the Kurnos actually supporting Bravo, because this Spearhead is, I think, where most of the potential is. Again, needs to be a decap here just to keep them in the game. Now they really need to decap Bravo. There's been enough points invested here. It needs to move forward. It needs to take something out. Patu Tiger, I like this. I would take it, if it were me, I would take this around the side. Because the more you get over into this side, the more anti-air, even from over near Echo, can respond. Granted, the Tiger is a stealth helicopter, but stealth will only get you so far, especially if you're firing the Hot 2s. This is too early. This is too risky. The Leclerc needs to be up here. This coordination needs to be up here. I guarantee you, Red just watched the Oxidate Preclude drive right in. And if it parks, yup, we could end up with the same sort of kill happening. Granted, there's screens over on this side, but yeah, get the Leclerc in. Not much movement. Yep, here's a bomber. Aardvark, Clustervark. Oh, the American Clustervark. 12 Rock I2s. That should be dead. Yep. Oh, brutal. Yeah, and like part of that is just bring it in when you have more space, and then don't leave it right in the corner. People are going to cluster this every single time when it's the only bit that you control, and that just hurts to see so much. Oh no. Second Clustervark going for the Leclerc. If it gets off the right click. Oh, nice. It didn't. Okay, so what just happened there, for those of you who are newer to the game, that Aardvark was probably right-clicked on the Leclerc and then lost line of sight and then died. That's a very, very, very big twist. Very big turnaround. If that Clustervark had right-clicked the Leclerc, since this thing is damaged, only has 3 top armor, probably a dead Leclerc, there goes the backbone that Blue has to make this push. But it's almost as good as gone anyway, because it's not been of use. It's not been engaged. It's not been shooting in here against Toby Namber's defense. And if a unit's not doing anything, it may as well be dead. It may as well not exist on the board. Points that you put on the board need to be useful on the board in order to have been, you know, worth the purchase. You need to get return on investment. You need to get, even if you can't get return on investment in terms of kills, this is Conquest. You need to push the board forward, and I guarantee you those are more US Marines. Okay, LRM, no, LR160, way too far out. Way too far out. See, the LR160 is amazing in part because it has such a wide spread, but there are limits to this. There's spread that's wide enough that it becomes relatively useless at killing anything, and this is exactly that. You can get away with it from that distance if it's a corrected shot, but this I would doubt is a corrected shot. It's just a Hail Mary. It might kill some backline AA, it might kill a transport, but usually not more than that. And now with the US Marines back in here in Lima, I think unfortunately that's going to be, yeah, I mean, I really can't see Blue taking this. No, okay. Smoke. Jeez. Okay. Tiger had sort of, swinging a whiff there, but Legion 90 are going to be able to get that. And now we have Heimaker coming in. Yeah, this sort of thing. Okay. Yep, trying to clear that out. When you see this, it's very often going to be just a test of your resolve. It's a test of what you have to stop it. And, I mean, this is 5, 10, 15, 20 points total here. It's not even, I mean, it's 20% of a minute's worth of income. So what you can do for this is you can identify what shoots back and then answer it appropriately. So you see these VAPT 2013s, and Toby's going to answer with Martyr 2s, because Martyr 2s will absolutely have a field day on those guys. Patu Tiger using its last missile. Oh, okay, that's dirty. I don't approve of that. That was a split to avoid the targeting off the Patu Tiger, but it's not like it was a tank or anything. It's just rubs me a bit the wrong way. Now, there is no rule against it in the tournament, so tournament rules that are relevant here, there's a no helo rush rule, which is not more than 300 points per player or lane, even if combined between 2 players, before 5 minutes in. After 5 minutes, we don't count that anymore. Any number of points in helicopters is fine. And then there's also a no blind bombing within 1 minute of play. So what I mean by this, as an extreme example, let's say at 50 seconds in, so 39:10 left on the clock, a high value unit like a super heavy is spotted for even just a second, but that line of sight is not maintained. If, because of that spot, one player calls in something like a cluster aardvark and immediately goes in and clusters where they know it will be in 10 seconds because it's fast moving along a road, that is not allowed. It's considered a blind bomb unless vision is maintained all the way to target. Oh man, probably right click. Let's see if the bombs teleports. Yep. So if that had been just a fire position, there would have been a cluster pattern here. The fact that the bombs went all the way back means it was probably a right click, in which case each individual bomb will roll its accuracy to see if it hits the unit. And if it does, then the bombs will just move right on top of the unit, regardless of the cluster pattern of the plane. Double combats. You don't see the combat very often, which is really a bit of a shame. It's 70% accuracy, the autocannon is not bad. Clearly we see it's dealing pretty good damage, but this is infantry in the open, and even then, the time to kill is not amazing. The suppression is pretty decent. Yeah, I like that platform. I wish it was more competitive in USA. Most people go with the CS, which we saw the combat reload, I think, twice there. The CS does not reload. So oftentimes, even though it has worse range and worse AP and worse accuracy, it's actually more deadly against infantry and soft targets because it just never stops shooting. The combat, on the other hand, is actually pretty decent as a light IFV buster. I like it. I've used it before actually against Entente and Entente Mech because 5 AP will bust through things like the BVP decently well. And for 30 points, it only needs to do that twice before it gets nice return on investment. So we see Lima's completely cleared out of key house units, probably most of them switched over onto this side for that Bravo side push. That is not quite working out here. The Kronos has actually lived a lot longer than I would have thought, given how the air game was going. KWS not able to get it so far, yeah. Hey, if it gets out, it gets out. I think earlier the Kronos 2000, the seed plane was unfortunately killed. Or would have seen that quite a lot more. Man, it feels like here Red started off on the better foot with that +1 tick, and then really just handled the early game advantage in board position in Hotel, because that Baz died, wasn't able to be maintained, and that really hurts. That really sucks to see, because the answer to early game tick is early game aggression, and really making use of the units you have on the ground to get board position, and the Baz into Hotel was definitely an attempt to do that. And we've all been there, right? The whole, okay, this is good, I can get this for a position, and then something key dies, and something key dying just makes it all fall apart. Especially when we think back to that mock bet, not killing the Cobra killing the Moglon. There was just a lot of punishment for that early aggression that wasn't a guarantee. I really want to see, we're going to have to take a look at the loss list here from Haymaker after the match, because I do not know what killed that 3D Baz, and if it was an M2A2, that must have been a side shot. in which case that really just, it's not going to happen every time, but when it does, I mean, yeah, that, if it was an M2A2, that M2A2 might have honestly been the MVP for this entire game for the Red 4 team. That, I mean, it's that impactful. The most important points you'll ever put on the board are in your opener, bar none. And the longer the game goes on, the less value those points have. You could buy something right now with 4 minutes left. If it's mechanized, it's barely going to have time to even get to the front before the game is over, especially on a map like this where it has to go all the way through a lot of the section of zones where, you know, in a 1v1 map you have a lot less ground to travel on usually to get up there. There's a point where buying mechanized units isn't even worth it. The last minute or two in the game, and there's nothing you can really do. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, very, very, very one-sided in terms of kills. 55-29 to 34-94, and most of that coming from OBL, but pretty nice trading by Toby as well here. And the thing about the losses being higher for Haymaker, I think this is in part like Haymaker was also taking more risks to make big plays. And that sort of high risk, high reward strategy, it's not going to happen every time, even if it's perfectly executed. So very nicely played to both teams. Congratulations to OBL for the first win in this series. We'll have to see who takes game 2 when that gets casted tomorrow. Yeah. When that comes up on YouTube tomorrow. Now, I want to see, not the kill list here, I want to see the loss list. What got the Baz? M2A2. Yeah. Must have been a side shot then. MVP for the USA player OBL. Alright, well, we're easy for me to say. We're going to be back with Game 2 of this tournament series of 3 for you guys tomorrow. If you like this sort of thing, don't hesitate to leave a like, share, subscribe, all that YouTuber nonsense. And you know what? We're going to have a lot more tournament games up here now that a lot more of them have been played, and I can go through and not give you something like a 5 minutes, little bit of Hilo cheese sort of win that may or may not have happened and was definitely inside the rules, but a little bit cheeky nonetheless. We have a lot more good games, good series of 3s between these players, and I am going to be just really excited to bring that to you guys, show you what there is in terms of the 2v2 and the tournament scene. Alright, well, we'll catch you guys around real soon.